never met someone who deserves the day the way that you do. Joseph, it's time to get ready and the spotlight's shining down upon you. Joseph, so be fast, hold firm. I'm on my way, yeah, here it comes. And I'm delivering a wish to you, so get ready, get ready. From every peak and valley they're telling you to get ready, 'cause here it comes. It's on the way. It's a celebration across the nation.
Hi, this is Penn Gillette, Penn and Teller. Big guy does magic, smaller guy next to me, he does magic too. He doesn't talk that much. I want to talk about Josef Jaffe is not famous, and Josef Jaffe is not famous. Josef Jaffe is wicked not famous. Josef Jaffe is superlatively not famous, and for good and sufficient reason. I mean, maybe his guests are famous. Maybe his guests are famous. He gets some famous people on his guests, but Josef Jaffe himself is not famous. That's the important part. You can have famous guests and still not be famous. And if you want an example of that, well, Josef Jaffe would be a really good example. Teller would do a better job at a talk show, and Teller doesn't talk, which you'd think would be one of the major qualifications of being on a talk show and not being famous. What's that, Teller? Oh, yeah, Teller says, Josef Jaffe, not famous. Love you. Peace.
When it comes to chicken, I'm your guy.
Blinking.
I'll have what Joseph has.
Look, somebody's talking about you.
This is what we call the voice of God.
Popping.
Everybody just gets to focus on you.
Grab me.
Probably not the best thing for an introvert.
I'm asking for you.
Well, I like a good chicken sandwich.
Touch me. Hi, David. Comment.
Oh my God.
Like.
You're actually an identical twin.
Push.
Maybe I'll just ask Julie to talk about what it is to be
No.
an identical twin.
Pick me up.
No, you didn't.
Shouting.
Surprise! Jeremiah, just hang on a second. I just got a text.
There's an edit for your new opening, Joseph.
I feel really honored to have been here, man.
By the way, you've done a masterful job. Seriously.
And it was such a joy.
Thanks, Joseph. It's an honor.
Good on you. This was a pleasure.
I mean, you are the prime example of how to pivot in this new environment.
I wish everybody gets an opportunity to interact with Josef Jaffe.
Who needs Cameo when I've got my own personal Cameo? Yes. We are in the Scottish Highlands. No, we aren't, because I'm not drinking a scotch. I guess we're somewhere in Dublin, Ireland. Top of the morning to you. It is May 17th. Tomorrow is May 18th. It is my daughter's 21st birthday. So sending her flowers in advance. Hopefully she'll be able to. Billy's in the green room. He's raising the roof. He's going to be dancing, and we have a lot of people here that are celebrating him as well. They all happen to be long-necked giraffes. Mr. Gary Henderson, the head giraffe himself. Dave says, you in early, Gary. Jeez. Can't wait for this one. Go, Billy. And Gary says, gotta show up. You gotta show up. Showing up is 99.3% of the battle. Do you know that 99.3% of all short putts never go in the hole, and the other 0.7, it sounds like a mint. The others are actually part of a mint. So there you go. You heard it here first. Lubna is here. Here we go, she says. And wow, just look at this. Gino is here. He's saying, Billy, Camille, for the first time, where the hell have you been? Where have you been hiding? I'm so glad you're here. Mr. Brian Piper is here. It's just unbelievable. This is community, everyone. This is community. I'm just going to flash them. I can't even keep up as well. Nancy Higgins says, showing up. And that's what we got to do, ladies and gentlemen. You have to show up in life. I am showing up. I am launching the Alpha Collective. I can drop some Alpha May 24th. I'm not even going to be in the country. But May 24th, minting begins. And here's the thing. I'm minting at $2,500 flat fee fiat. I'm not charging crypto. Crypto is an option, but you're gonna hear about a whole bunch of things about this collective, about community capitalism, about 52 Alpha Talk speakers delivering 52 Alpha Talks across 52 weeks. My job is to promise and over-deliver and keep on over-delivering with the best of the old meets the best of the new. And you can actually win a pass if you choose. If you go to alphacollective.xyz and sign up for email updates, you can win a pass. Actually, it's worth more than 1 ETH since I changed it. I just happened to see a little bit of a change. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm excited about innovating. I am excited about trying things that I've never tried before. Gary Henderson, who's in the audience, has taught me a lot about the power of the hold economy. In fact, every single morning at 5 a.m., because clearly I'm a masochist, I attend a coffee with all my fellow giraffes in Discord. And I've learned so much about the power of taking this creator coin and actually doing something really spectacular with it, which is to be able to tell people you will get value just by holding the coin. So if you hold one Jaffe coin, a whole bunch of channels open up. You can find out about my guests in advance. When we do after shows, you'll be able to attend. When we do pre-tapings, you'll be able to attend. You'll be able to get their bios, a whole bunch of things. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you are a fan, which means you hold 10 Jaffe coin, you will get Jaffe coin. Yes, you will get more Jaffe coin. In fact, right now, you're getting Jaffe coin. See that QR code? See that QR code over there? Just by shining your beautiful light of your phone on that QR code, you're going to get some Jaffe. Billy's doing it right now, and you have to hold 10 Jaffe coin, which I know Billy does, in order to get 0.1. Think about it. Half a Jaffe coin. It's 2 Jaffe coins every month. I might increase it. I might not. It's fun. It's also fun to be an insider. And if you are an insider, which means you hold 25 Jaffe coin, you now get access to bonus video clips, but also something that I'm really quite excited about, my show notes. And so here are the show notes from G.I. Zaratarian. I just want to share 2 of them with you. At 51 minutes in the show, he talks about being reactively optimistic. Reactive, what a great thing. It's not, you can't be proactively, you can be proactively optimistic, but when you are reactively optimistic, it means no matter what life throws at you, no matter what adversity presents itself, you can look at it with an optimistic lens and be able to react to it. Not be reactive, but react to it in a positive, actually proactive way. Another thing that I love is when you think about ownership that we talk about in this Web3 world, Maker's Mark and Jack Daniels have been doing it. With Maker's Mark, you can actually own a small, tiny little piece of the distillery. And in a way, that's what's happening when we buy into a project. Even holding a coin, even holding a giraffe, you actually can say, I own a small fraction of it. I am a part owner. That is really, really powerful stuff. And again, it's not that it's new. It's not new at all. In fact, it's quite old as the hills. Now, if you are a VIP, which means you now have 50 Jaffe coin, you get a backstage pass. And so now, for those of you that have 50 Jaffe coin, I am posting the link that Billy has right now in the VIP channel, in the backstage channel on Discord. And what actually happens now is you could have joined today 15 minutes earlier, hung out with Billy and myself, and maybe asked a few questions. Maybe if Billy liked your questions, you could have even jumped on and had a conversation with them. You do all of this by going to my Not Famous Discord, bit.ly/Not Famous Discord, and typing /join in bot commands channel to get your role. It's pretty cool stuff. And shout out to Gino, who's helped me do all of this. Finally, if you are a super fan and hold 100 coins, you get to join me for a monthly call where you get to give me feedback on the show. I want to hear what you have to say. I want you to feel like you are a part of the show. But also, if you're looking to start a show, I will pour into you and let you know whatever you want, answer any of your questions. You can suggest guests for the show. And if that guest comes on, you can actually come on with me and ask them a question or two. And I'm going to drop some more information today. From now on, if you are a super fan, you can actually create content for the show. You get to be a correspondent. If you have something on your mind, there are going to be some specs in terms of length and format, but you can now start sending in video clips, and I will load those video clips and weave them into the show. All of this and more just by being a super fan. Finally, I just want to tell you about one thing that I've launched as well. I'm sharing all of this with you because I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned so much about how to create an open, growing organism that actually flexes with humanity as opposed to with bravado. I've taken all of my speaking engagements, I've put them into NFTs. And from now on, the only way you can book me for a speaking engagement is through my NFTs. I've discounted them because what I want is I want to turn my super fans into agents, into booking agents. So right now, not only can you buy a discounted speaking engagement, but you can resell it at whatever the hell you want. And you can keep all of the profit if you sell it directly, or 90% if you sell it through secondary market. And to reward the first purchaser of every one of them, the virtual North America and global keynote, I'm going to double it up, which means you get to keep one for yourself and sell one, or you get to sell two. So this is a celebration. It is a celebration of my journey. It is a celebration of how much growth and progress I've made over the last 2 years, and specifically the power of a community. As I said today, I was on Brian Fanzo's podcast. Yesterday, I was on another podcast. I said the best teachers are students and the best students are teachers. And I feel like I am just growing all the time and learning all the time. And that is why today's soliloquy is called Celebrate, not celebrate good times. Come on. It's a celebration. There is a party, and the party is happening right here. It is a party where we get to collaborate and celebrate each other's wins. We get to actually genuinely be happy for everyone else, because guess what? There's room. There's room for all of us. In this sandbox, in this blue ocean, there's room for all of us. Now, I want to build on it a little bit. I was thinking about it. I was brooding on it today, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? Sometimes we say we're happy, but we're not happy because we're in pain, because we wish, we covet that win, that celebration, that success. And so I've decided that we should tweak the concept of celebration, of being happy for each other. In fact, when somebody says congratulations to me from now on for anything that they perceive as success, if in fact it isn't success, I'll tell them. But more importantly, I'm going to say, how can I help you achieve the same success? Because there's plenty of room for all of us. I've supported every single community out there in terms of buying their NFT unconditionally. I hope they'll celebrate the launch of Alpha Collective, but even if they don't, if this works, when this works, I manifest it to work, and people say, that's amazing. I'm going to tell them about the blood, the sweat, the tears, the toil, the sacrifices, how it almost never happened. And then I'm going to say, how can I help you achieve the same success? So when we are genuinely happy for each other, that's good. That's fantastic. But let's take it to the next level. Let's make sure that no one is left on the sidelines and no one is left behind. And now it's time to not just leave him behind. Maybe he felt that I was leaving him behind in the green room, but it is time for Billy Boughey. And he, like Baba Booey, he even pronounces it Boughey. In fact, this Billy Boughey is more famous and more, and more accessible than Baba Booey himself. Billy is a nationally recognized keynote speaker and host who has led events for Delta, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A, FIFA, Disney, wow, and many other notable organizations. He is the founder and president of the Atlanta-based, down in the ATL company, Elevate Experiences, that helps brands tell their story through remarkable events. Check out his TEDx talk titled How to Lead Like a Freestyle Rapper. I wonder what's with that. Billy is the creator of the Elevate coin, which equips and inspires supporters to elevate their business and their life. As a former pro athlete with the Philadelphia Phillies, Billy brings a fresh perspective to leadership and practical team building. Pick up Culture Reconstructed on Amazon or at billyspeaks.com. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Billy Boughey.
What's up? How we doing?
We're doing so well that I cannot even possibly list all of these comments but I will try. Lubna says, no creator left behind. Nancy says, come out of the green room, Billy B. You're out.
I'm out. And I love that you could see me in the green room back there dancing, man. I'm just so excited for what you're up to. And also, your daughter's birthday is tomorrow. And it's also my wife's birthday tomorrow. So we share that as well.
21. I guess they're Tauruses, right?
Yep. Tauruses. A little different age, but, same flavor.
No bull, right?
Exactly.
Don't answer that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I'm a proud super fan as well, man. I'm excited for what's happening in your community, and it's really fun to be on the show. And all the folks watching live, man, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, isn't it great? The reason why they're all tuning in live is because they all want to find out some fun facts about Billy B. Some of them have been leaked in your intro. Some of them we've had to go and dig deep into the dark web to find out. For example, we know that you played professional baseball with
there
the Phillies.
I am.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
This was a walk-off victory as well, and you're not even wearing a cap. That's how cool you are.
What's amazing is the gentleman just to the right there who's facing the camera. That was my catcher in the minor leagues. His name is Carlos Ruiz, and this is probably 10 years after that. So that fires me up.
So, I mean, what an experience it must be. And there's no doubt, Billy, that you've probably learned so much about team, about leadership from professional sports. What is one lesson, for example, that you can transfer and you do transfer to your day-to-day, to organizations, et cetera, that you've learned from professional sports?
Yeah, the biggest one for me is everyone needs to be coached differently. I think the coach has a responsibility to, you've heard of this analogy of chess versus checkers. And I had an amazing coach in high school, and I still talk about Coach Keith O'Carroll to this day, that he knew how to coach me. I was someone that wanted to be pushed. I wanted you to get my face. I wanted you the person that actually called me out a little bit versus, other people on my team. I needed to understand that I might be a coach that way, but how they receive that information is different. So that's something that transfers. And I've had so many incredible coaches, and now having a boy myself who's playing baseball, it's been fun to be his coach and think back to all the wonderful men and women that have coached me over the years. I'm super grateful, but that's one that sticks out.
So there's a key point, which is you've got to be coachable.
Yep.
Not only are people coached differently, but you've got to be coachable. And we were bantering in the green room about how you've kind of observed me being coached. And let me tell you, for the first, I would say probably up until about maybe an infamous incident which involved you coming on the show. I got to say, I was probably dialing it all in and probably, I don't want to say faking it, but I am the worst person in the world at taking advice and criticism. I hate it. And yet, you are indirectly responsible for an awakening in me, which is not just to grin and bear it, but just bring it on. It is masochism in its purest form, which is the more pain, the more pleasure. And so it's great to hear what you said, but let me tell you, you're not seeing it being dialed in anymore. I want to be coached. I need to be coached. And you know what I've learned? The more different someone is than me, the more it's going to benefit me because of the perspective that I gain.
Well, I think that infamous phone call, I had it muted on Discord, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's he gonna do? It's like I had my popcorn. I was just like shoveling it at me. I didn't have popcorn, but like the figurative popcorn was being shoveled in, and the way you handled it was very much like 2 plays in the NBA playoffs. One was a few days ago, and I just posted it on my Instagram, to where Giannis Antetokounmpo dunked over the top of Al Horford, who plays for the Celtics. And instead of like getting pissed or whatever, he just kind of nodded his head and just like said, okay. And this is after you get dunked on. Like in a basketball game, you get like almost a little bit disrespected. And instead of doing that, I just say, okay, just going to nod my head, and they end up winning the series, and all those sorts of things. But I think it was a bit of that, Jaffe. It was a bit of just watching you grow in the humility, and watching your brand will continue to grow inside of that. So I'm just pumped for you, man. I'm really, really excited that I was a little spark for that. I know it wasn't me, but it was a definite spark from that conversation.
Well, it's a giant spark, and you know what? The funny thing is, we've got some people laughing as well. And by the way,
who was on the call? Yeah, let us know. Let us know who was there.
Gino said Billy is the real MVP.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like growth is gorgeous. Growth is gorgeous because we know that we can always be better. We can always be better. Tomorrow will always be better than yesterday, as long as we continue to grow.
Come on.
So now here's something else that people may not know about the man, the myth, the legend, that Billy actually is an aspiring and up-and-coming magician. And here he is, pictured with pen and teller. Tell me what you're manifesting here. Are you gonna fool them on Fool Us?
Yes.
Tell us about being a magician.
So I've always loved magic. There was a little trick shop in Marietta, Georgia called Eddie's Trick Shop. And anytime I would, my dad would take me there, and I would just be so enamored with the different types of tricks. Whenever I go to Vegas, I typically see two shows a night. So I'll see the early one at 5:30 and the late one at 8 o'clock or so. And there was a gentleman that showed up to a mastermind I was a part of with a gentleman named Lewis Howes. And he had this young kid come after dinner and just kind of do a 45-minute, sleight of hand magic card. And I was just enamored. Well, I started following him on Instagram, another power of social media. And he put out there that he was doing one-on-one Zoom magic lessons. And I was like, done. I direct messaged, and I've been doing them for about 7 weeks now. And I can maybe towards the end, I actually have another camera set up, Jaffe, for this moment. I actually have another camera that shows my hands down here on my table, and I could do some live magic if we have time for it.
Hang on a second. We've got comments coming in. Lubna says, magic trick. Magic trick. Damn straight. We would love to see a magic trick. But my question is, do you need to see me in this, or should we put you full screen?
Do you want to do it now or at the end? I'll have to switch camera for a second. I can. You want to do it now?
Well,
what does the audience say? Do it.
Do it.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Live magic. Yes.
Live magic show. Let's see. All right, it's going to go out for a second, so don't worry.
All right. So, you know what we do when this happens? I'm prepared for everything.
All right, we got another view right here. How's that?
All right, so I'm gonna make you full screen. And should I do this one? No,
yeah, do that one so I can communicate. Yeah, so I can interact with you.
All right.
All right. So, when he teaches me cards, it's basically a standard deck of cards. So this is a standard bicycle deck of cards. There's nothing special about it. I know we're doing this virtually, so I'm not going to be able to actually have you inspect it, but I'll just hold it up to the camera so you can see that they're all different types of cards. Right? They're all different ones. I'll spread them out on the table here so you can see 100% all different, right? Joseph, do you see they're all different? Nothing.
They're all different.
I'm actually have short sleeves on, so I can't hide anything up my sleeve on this one in particular.
It's like a PFP collection, right?
Exactly.
See, we got off tracks, everything.
That's a whole different conversation. I love it. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and what's going to be tricky about this is there's a moment where you have to say pick a card. So I'm going to put the cards out like this, and I'm just going to put my hand like this, and you're just going to say stop, okay?
Stop.
Okay, right here. So this is your card. Now, I don't know how other to like show you your card other than to close my eyes and
you can show it to the screen.
Okay, you ready? Let me close my eyes. Here we go.
All right.
Got it?
I got it.
Put it down. Okay, I'm not touching it. So your card is a very, very interesting card because we have the opportunity together to discover what it is. So I'm going to have to look at you at the camera over here to see your face. But I'm also going to take these cards. If you're with me, I would say cut them. So your card is right here. I'm going to cut these cards this way. I'm going to cut them this way and this way. Which one of these do you want to put it on top of? This one, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I'm going to go with 4.
You're going to go with 4. Okay, so we're going to put your card on top of 4. And I'm just going to put these back where they were. Okay, so there's an opportunity for me to look at your face to try to discover what the trick is. And again, I'm just an aspiring magician. You know, I know this is a new trick. No, it's not that one. No, it's definitely not this card. It's not that one. I know for sure it's not that. Let me think. Could be this one. Nope, definitely not. It's not those for sure. Your card itself, if I were to say a color, you mentioned your daughter is turning 21 tomorrow. How many numbers are there between 29 and 21?
8.
They're 8. Okay, so 8, 8, 8. I just feel 8 from you. That's what I'm feeling. Is there any chance? Is there any chance? Hold on one second. Is there any chance that, let's see, is that your card, the 3 of diamonds? Correct?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, so let me flip back over. Watch this. Let me flip it over, and let me tap, and let me just take the 3 of diamonds as not the card. But if I were to do this, that card turns from the 3 of diamonds into your card, which is, of course, the 8 of spades. That's, of course, your card, right?
Oh, my God.
Well, of course, every single magician has to know where the aces are. So if I were to do like this, my deck, I would go like this, and I would know that, of course, those 2 are the aces. But if we were to find the other 2 together, it would be, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. We're going to put that 1 ace on top. And then we're going to take the deck again, and we're going to say, all right, I'm just going to put a few down. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, right there. We'll put the other ace. Now, what you did, Joseph, is you actually put the aces directly on top of the other aces randomly inside of the deck. Okay? Now, as for the aces, would you choose for the ace to be on the bottom or the top of those other 2 aces you just put inside the deck? Which one, bottom or the top?
I'm going to go top.
Okay, top. So you want that ace on the top. So would you say that having that ace on the top, the one next to it would be, of course, would be that ace that you set on the top. And the other one, of course, on top of that would be the ace. So you literally just found all 4 of those aces by yourself. Pretty amazing, right?
Hang on a second, Billy. You got the applause. That was amazing. Hold on, let's look. Do you have to go back to the other camera?
I got to switch it up. So that's my. I'm still learning. So have some grace with me. That's all I got so far.
You know what? That warrants my camera switching sound.
All right, we're back.
All right, thank God you weren't picking your nose, and thank God you didn't get it wrong. Can you imagine that?
Oh man, I was a little nervous, but he's amazing. So Franco is his name, and if you follow him on Instagram, I post him all the time because he's just teaching me sleight of hand and really just the core of magic. So stay tuned for more.
That was great. Sid Meadows says, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. Dave says, nailed it. And you're getting a lot of love. Brian Piper says, by the way, never play poker with Billy. And Tammy is here. Tammy Henderson said, dang. Big shout out and much love to you, Tammy Henderson. I'm so glad that you're here today. Wow, you just got a lot of love. But we're not here to talk about magic. We are here today to talk about freestyle rapping.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you knew this was coming. But you performed on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Now, I tried to find footage, and I was unable to find footage. So we're just going to have to play this.
Who else we got? This guy right here. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What is your name?
My name is Billy.
Billy, very good. Billy, the Oscars are this weekend. If you were going to the Oscars, who would you bring as your date?
Sandra Bullock.
No, you have to say.
My wife. My wife.
Your wife.
That's what I said. I said nothing else.
Yeah,
nothing
no
to the
problem,
contrary.
yeah. Sandra Bullock. My wife. Smart answer. If you won the Oscar, what would be the first thing you shout the moment they announce your name?
It's awesome. Yeah.
What? This should be easy for you, Tariq. This should be very easy for you.
There's a lot that rhymes with that.
It's Missy Elliott. It was great. It's almost like a young John
I'm also a
Travolta.
freestyle. I'm also a freestyle rapper. So, I don't know if. No.
You want to rap? You want to rap about your own situation?
This will be a first. Like, well, let's have him do his own freestyle.
Okay, yeah. You say, so your name is Billy.
Yeah.
You're going to take your wife to the Oscars.
Okay.
And the first thing you shout is, You want to give him a beat?
Gotta lose yourself, right?
That's what he wants.
Whatever you. Yeah. My man Tariq, in December, 10 minutes, you flowed. I'm gonna try to do it. Just a minute. Ready? Yeah. You ready? Here it is. You gotta lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better let it go, I flow. Jimmy standing next to me, saying, hey, Billy B. You go to the Oxys and see Sandra Bullock. No, my lady, she's next to me, she's smiling but quiet. I'm about to flip the script, Tarika, you're the man. I've idolized you for like 10 decades, my man. I'm only 40, that's kind of weird. The math doesn't work. If I win the Oscar, I twerk and I say, ooh la 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 la.
I was worried for a second.
Not bad, yeah, not bad. I like it. Billy, thank you, buddy. Makes it easy. It makes it easy for you. Excuse me, can I get through here? How you doing? Thank you.
Double. Okay.
Oh man.
First of all, he didn't realize that you were imitating him, right?
So there's so many things that happen in that moment. One is have somebody around you that believes in you. Community. So I was so nervous. My wife was pointing over the top of my head. She was doing like that pick him thing. He only picked me because he saw my beautiful wife next to me and said, "Oh, how about you?" So there's that. Second thing is
the one you stood up for Sandra Bullock just for the
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But the second thing is Jimmy trusted his intuition in the moment. We could, we're feeling a vibe. I'm a huge fan of Jimmy Fallon and Tariq and the Roots and Questlove and the whole thing. That's incredible. And right after that, Bruce Willis was a plant in the crowd. He actually had a hood on, and he was a plant over on the side, and they were going to find Bruce Willis in the crowd and do this whole Bruce Willis rap thing. Well, the producer was sitting two rows in front of me, and in the split second, when I said that, Jimmy glanced at his producer, and the producer went, "Oh, sure."
Yeah.
You're like, whatever. And the really fun part about that is Jimmy came up to me 4 times during the commercial breaks to say thank you, Billy. Like, thank you. That was incredible. And so to have somebody I love so much be so grateful, it was a very below average rap. I was so nervous, but ended up being about $525,000 of revenue that came from that one moment. So the show aired, my phone blew up that night and the next day of just people saying, "Hey, if you have the balls to like do that on national TV, then we need to have you come and speak and help us with our thing." So even though it wasn't my best performance, I'm still very proud of that moment.
Can I just give you a little bit of advice?
Yeah.
I think you should take that experience and turn it maybe into like a TED talk or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Wait a second. No, I mean it's absolutely brilliant on so many levels. You can see the moment that there's that hesitation on their part.
Yep.
You can see the exact moment when they're like, this could go pear-shaped so bad and so quickly. But that moment of just taking the charge, I know you, and I know your heart, and then just when you said I'm also a freestyle rapper, it's like you had, you were given the ball and you ran with it, and it changed your life. I mean, how many people have the ability to do that, to find the opportunity and then take it? And so I want to make that nuance here. It's not just about taking opportunities. It's making them and then taking them. This was a double whammy. And when I watch it, now knowing you as I do, I was like marveling I was just, when I watched it earlier, I was like, oh my God.
I'm so grateful for that moment. They film it in the afternoon. So they film it at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we went and saw Hamilton on Broadway that, evening at 7:30 or so, the show there, which is the rap history of America. It was incredible. And then we went to dinner at Rue 52, our favorite restaurant in New York City. And that was, we're sitting there eating steak, having a great night. And my wife said, oh, the show's on. And I look over at the bar and they had the Tonight Show on and the bit was about to start. So I ran over to the bar and everybody at the bar started to realize that, oh, that's the guy that's standing right here. Cause I was wearing the same clothes because we had filmed it earlier. And for about 90 seconds, I was really famous in New York. I think somebody bought me a couple drinks. So it was but it was a moment. It was a fleeting moment. And there was, right before I said that phrase, hey, I'm a freestyle rapper, I was like, did I just say that? Hold on. I thought to myself, can I take that back? This is just the honest truth. I was honestly hoping that the producer would say, no. And he easily could have said like, no, buddy, okay, cool. Like, let's let Tariq take this one, like the professional. I was like, but the fact that they let me do that. And there's been so many times, I think, people that are viewing and listening in later, there are those times where we have those moments and we try and we fail. That's the magic, right? When we get kicked down and then we decide like, no, like I know I've got this. Let's go do this thing again. So yeah, that's a lot of things you drew out of that moment. And it definitely will be one of the ones that my kids talk about and my grandkids talk about.
99.3%, I think, was the statistic that I made up. That statistic. And you know what? You also touched on something else, and I've been there. I felt it. In that moment, when you're so close, when you can almost taste the opportunity, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to sit it out because it's safer. It's safer.
Come on.
But you feel the heart. You feel your heart beating. You feel that adrenaline, and yet most people just chicken out. They regret it every day of their lives.
Come on.
Every day.
And the founder of Chick-fil-A, a gentleman named Truett Cathy, he opened up Chick-fil-A. 15 years, the building burnt down. He built a second one, another 7 years until it became what Chick-fil-A is now, over 2,500 restaurants and, $16 billion company. But he said something that resonates forever. He said, how do you know if someone needs encouragement? He said, if they're breathing. And like that simple phrase has caused me to go, when I see somebody, I'm kind of like that coach that just pats you on the butt. Like, come on, let's go. Like, you've got this thing. Let's go make it happen. And C.S. Lewis said this incredible quote. He said, people need to be more reminded of something they already know than taught something they don't know, taught something new. And so I know that I just need to be reminded of who I am, like what I was created to be. And we need to foster that. We need to grow that. But in that moment, I wasn't quite sure, even as confident as I might have looked. And watching it back, I was like, I did not look that nervous. But bro, it was straight up nerves flowing through my body.
I hear that. And one of the courses that I did at college that really, really gave me the most value and utility was something called professional communications. And I remember that, back in the day we had overhead projectors, I guess we call them, where you put the transparencies on.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, they recorded us. They videoed us giving our presentations. And then they played it back and we had to watch ourselves with it playing back. Every single person said the same thing. I was so nervous, but you can't see it. So tip number one is never apologize, and don't, like using a poker analogy, don't use any tells. Never apologize. And here was one of the tells. When someone held the pointer, their hand would be going like this. So what did you do? You took the pen and you put the pen down on the transparency and left it alone. And so, I mean, I can relate. You must have actually just wanted to, just vomit a little bit in your mouth, probably.
Well, I mean, I sat down for a minute, and we talk about out of body experiences. It truly was for me in that moment. And I'm pretty intuitive and a pretty spiritual person. So I literally just felt grace, and I felt like approval, and I felt like you just did the damn thing. Like it was such a unique moment. And it's part of what I want to build in my community to elevate. I want everybody to have that moment in time that causes everything else to change. To have this moment in time where it's like, oh damn, like I can actually go do this. And I actually have the skills and the ability to go do this. And it's where the word elevate came from. It's why I'm so passionate about that word, and who cares about the business side? I care about really helping people do that. And I know that if I'm not doing that, then others aren't going to do that. So that was a moment where I had to say, oh crap, I'm not sure if I can, which leads to the TED Talk you mentioned, how to lead like a freestyle rapper. I share a little bit about my favorite book as a kid, which was Curious George. Curious George began with this, the man in the yellow hat who was kind of like always trying to rein him back in, and he was just trying new things. And I used the concept as, why aren't we more curious? I know I watch your show, and I know you talk about creativity and curiosity, and seeing you at CEX, the way that, you were interviewing all the folks there, and you actually got out of the seat and let them, do the interview for you. And I'm sure that was a moment where you were kind of a bit of unsure, but you trusted your ability and you trusted the folks that were around you, and you were curious about what could be. And I know some of the greatest content I've ever created, and when I was just like, let's put these two unseeming things that might work, and they actually work. So that whole talk was about that concept.
Amazing. Well, I've renamed you. You're guest number 374. Curious, Billy Boughey, keynote speaker, author, and host.
I receive it.
We got some great comments. I mean, Lubna said, by the way, Billy is famous, and that's why my show is called Joseph. Now people understand, because I have famous people on. But I mean, Lubna said, get ready to be ready. Camille says, powerful lesson. Dave says, all about stepping up in the moment. Camille adds, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Another brilliant point. I feel like this is coffee right now. Is this the accelerator program right now? Take chances, seize the moment. And Tom Morris says, great Chick-fil-A nugget. Here's the thing. Tom Morris is our resident philosopher, and he has just moved from Thursdays. Philosophy Thursdays is now Philosophy Tuesdays. And so here is his vignette nugget, which is coincidentally called Business Elevation.
Hi, I'm Tom Morris with a Band-Aid on my face, but don't worry about me, I'll be fine. So will American business. My friend Alan Murray, CEO of Fortune Magazine and Fortune Media, has a new book out that I've been reading called Tomorrow's Capitalist. It details how CEOs are waking up across industries to an important thing that they haven't paid enough attention to in the past, unfortunately, the spirit of the people who do the work. They are seeking new ways to make a difference in the world for their businesses and to elevate their employees. People have a sense for a need of meaning and purpose in their work that we didn't often see 30 years ago, 50 years ago, throughout most of human history. People worked for sustenance, for a basic income, for the basic necessities, kind of the bottom of the Maslow hierarchy of needs. But now, the places people used to get their sense of meaning and purpose, the many institutions, religious and social, have begun to wane in influence. And so people increasingly seek these needs at work. And CEOs are realizing that people need their businesses, their companies, their employers to stand for something they believe in. And so there's more talk about meaning and purpose than ever before. So in the founding of our nation, John Adams was in Philadelphia. And it was a time that the Declaration of Independence was being drafted by Jefferson. And Adams was really depressed. He was homesick. He was troubled by so many worries and concerns. And his wife, Abigail Adams, wrote him a letter. And in that letter, she quoted Shakespeare. See if I can get this right. I haven't read this for 20 years. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their lives is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, we must take the current when it leads or lose our ventures. There is a current right now that Alan details in his book, a new CEO concern, a new business concern about social justice, about racism, about opportunity, about climate, about violence in society, where we're seeing that profit and pay and bottom line issues are not inimical at all to higher purposive issues about values and meaning and our sense of mission in the world. Aristotle had this interesting view of the city, that it was all about people in partnership for a shared purpose. And if that shared purpose is a high purpose in a city, in a family, in a business, people are elevated. People reach higher, do better, dig deeper. So think about that in connection with the topic of elevation. I recommend Alan's book, again, Tomorrow's Capitalist, a wonderful look. It's not a big book, but it's a very high impact book, looking at all the positive things going on in business right now and how it can lift up our entire world, our society, and our individual lives. Happy philosophizing.
You might say that that he's talking about elevation. You might say that. Would you say that?
100%. And I'm reflecting on what he was saying in tandem with, I have two friends that just reached the summit of Mount Everest this week.
Wow.
Which is incredible. One of my friends, African-American gentleman, he's a part of a 7-member team, the first ever group to make it to the top of Mount Everest. And incredible story. You can go to the North Face and kind of read about them. His name's Thomas Moore. And I think about what it takes to elevate. I think about my friend Rebecca Louise, who just did that as well. Didn't know each other, and they were elevating. And as he was talking, I was thinking about American business and elevation and what it actually takes to climb Mount Everest, and what it takes for us to sort of climb where we are now. I think there's a lot of people that I meet now that are kind of the woe is me folks. I met two New York City investors yesterday. I was speaking at an event in Opelika, Alabama, and they just bought this organization called America's Thrift Stores. And I spoke to a bunch of their managers yesterday. And two VCs out of New York City just flew down to Alabama, and they sat through my talk. They met me in the parking lot, not in a bad way. And we're just talking about, and they kept using the word elevate. And I said, man, the word elevate is just perfect for your business. It's perfect for, what you did for that room. You elevated. He said, like, it's just really interesting how you took he said the words raw materials of America's Thrift Store and let us put those together so you can elevate. So I think it's a bit of what I heard is like reevaluating on our raw materials again. So I can go off on the elevate idea and how to actually do that. But I love that segment.
Well, and we're going to, but I want to give a little bit of a build on it as well, which is first of all, let's go back to that America's Thrift Stores. This idea of raw materials. Well, sometimes it's raw emotion as well. Sometimes it's being able to tap into almost our physiological, every element of our body, our mind, our body, our spirit has to elevate, and it has to elevate in tandem. And I say this with a purpose, because here is today's quote for you. We're almost, it was so big that it almost got cut off. Your mind has the intellect to lift the world. Your heart has the wisdom to better the world, and your soul has the genius to elevate the world. And I loved it coming back to soul. It's
everything. The soul work. There's a gentleman named Robin Sharma who wrote a book called The 5 a.m. Club. It's an incredible book.
Yeah, we're part of the 5 a.m. Club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I don't need the book. But he spoke and he talked about this idea of working on different parts of our life, and he talked a lot about the soul, and it stuck out to me. That's something we neglect, right? We talk about our mind. I talk a lot about how you have to get to someone's heart before you get to their head. A lot of our American business, international business, we try to go to the head and then get to the heart maybe later, but we go to the heart first, we get the head. But I think we neglect the soul a little bit. I think that's where we help elevate our employees, we elevate our team, we elevate ourselves by really paying attention to that. My wife is an incredible life coach. She's got a business called Uncommon Grit, and she is just an incredible leader. And she talks a lot about paying attention to the tension. And I think that's like in the soul is where that tension lies. Like, how could I pay attention to the tension? What is that thing that's like bothering me? It could be just I ate a bad burrito, but it could be like there's something there that's causing me not to elevate. And a lot of time it's that soul work. It's that hard, quiet work that most of us aren't willing to do. I know that I'm not most of the time. So yeah, love the word soul in there. That fires me up.
I love that. And by the way, that quote is from Machona Gliwayo. A little bit of, remember, you can take the man out of Africa, but you can't take Africa out the man.
I like it.
So yeah, it's great because, the other part of it, Billy, that I like is this idea of, we always talk about the head and the heart, about logic and emotion, and there's something missing, and then that something missing is purpose. community, is whatever you want it to be, but it's something else. And it is the embodiment of emotion or spirituality and physicality. It is the perfect equilibrium or combination. So let's talk about elevate. As I said, I had a few little. I had the quote. I had Tom's take on it. I want to just give you one more build, and then I want to hear about the genesis of elevate and also what you do in your company, and how you've elevated events and experiences as well. But here's what I took away from you today, Billy, which is I spoke about growth earlier, and growth is all about moving. There's growth and momentum, and it's all about moving forward, right? Keep moving and move forward. That's growth by definition. To me, elevation is about stand up, stand tall, rise up, be proud, step up. So for me, elevation I think of as vertical, and growth and maturation and evolution is horizontal. And you put the two of them together, you have a Johnny Walker commercial. But in all seriousness, that's how I see elevation. It's this idea of,
That's funny.
I mean, listen, we go from sublime to ridiculous on the show. Over to you.
I love it. Well, what I love about the word elevate, you can start from anywhere. It doesn't matter what, if you're at sea level or if you're starting way above sea level, you start wherever you are. And the word elevate, to me, we almost called the company lift up. We just knew that there was an idea to help people and organizations, which is our vision, to help them live and lead at a higher level. So take them where they currently are and to help them grow. My first book's called Culture Reconstructed. And it was written with the premise of, thank you. It was written with the premise that on the side of the stage for every event that I would host or team would be a part of, I would start to get requests. Hey, would you come speak at our event? Would you come help train our team on collaboration? Would you come and give us some principles of, miscommunication in the workplace? I just started saying, sure, let's do that. And the work was meeting a lot of people doing that. And I noticed that when people properly evaluated where they started, they could elevate. And that was sort of the genesis of the brand, even before it was a company. And then I met with a branding agency, and we literally started writing down everything that the word elevate can mean. We started drawing a helicopter. This is a sketch on a piece of paper. Started drawing a helicopter, started drawing the Nike swoosh, drew a ninja, kind of doing a ninja kick. And then eventually this wing came out, and the wing represented kind of like a little bit of the Red Bull flavor of elevate. We give you wings. We provide the wings for you to fly. We're not going to fly for you. And then we started looking at colors. And the reason that the wing on elevate is blue is we just believe like blue skies and blue oceans. It's a bit of what Gary Henderson says is keeping your eyes forward. It's what's right in front of you that you don't quite see because your eyes are here. What if you lifted your vantage point and could see off way bigger than you are? You can see the website there. And so our job to come in is really, and I think our business distinctive when it comes to our company is we begin with a question, not with an answer. Our process or our business is listen, design, produce. And so we ask a key question in the beginning. We'll say, hey, when people leave your event, whether it's virtual, hybrid, in person, what do you want them to be feeling? What do you want them to be thinking? What are they tweeting about? What are they putting on their Instagram story? What conversations are they creating? And then we can back into the stage, lighting, sound, production, run of show, who's the speaker, what's the wow moments, what are the breakout sessions, all that stuff. Cool. A lot of companies, I realize, we're starting with that stuff, and nobody really loves that stuff. They love having their audience go, man, I am so thankful I was a part of that. And so we just started, and it grew really fast. And I learned that I'm a really good in the business person. I needed help on the business and got some help on that. And so we've been around for 10 years and have helped organizations literally around the globe make their organizations better. So really proud of it, but that's a quick snapshot of what we do.
I also realized that the wing is also the coif on the hair, if you look.
Yes,
so,
I never noticed that. That's awesome.
So it's trendy as well. Half a wing is trendy as well. Billy, listen, you live in and you are experienced and accomplished and credible in terms of being able to conceive and execute and deliver an event. what are your thoughts on where it's all heading? I mean, I've asked 1,000 people, maybe 371, a little bit of a hyperbole there. Sorry, 373, I should say. How dare I forget my last two guests? But 373 people all have opinions. You're in the game, you're in the business. Where do you see it all going? And give us a sense as to some of the trends that we should keep our eye on.
Yeah, I'm so hopeful and so excited. I'll start with a story that Justin Timberlake at his 2020 Experience tour, he was on stage singing the song Drink You Away, which is him and Chris Stapleton's song. It's an incredible tune. And he was singing the song, and at the end of it, people were yelling, "Justin, we love you." They were screaming from the crowd, and he took his in-ear monitor out, and he said, "I love you too." And they started yelling things. And he said, "I want you to know, I don't want my music just to get in your ear. I want it to get in your blood." And when he said that, I was like, oh, that hit so different for me. And it really crystallized where I believe the event industry is going. Because see, when a baby is born, the baby is instantly looking for mom and dad for comfort. Like it's turning toward community. I watch my kids, I have 4 kids. My kids are 8, 9, 10, and 1. My 8, 9, and 10-year-old, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, we're working through, community. We're working through how they connect with their neighbors, how they connect with their classmates. I have friends that we're still learning how to connect with each other, but I do know that moments is what creates momentum. And I know we all need moments, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit, we all need these moments in time. I've heard people say that we're just going to get rid of our events. Like we were, our business was at a $2.4 million revenue business in 2019. We lost $1.8 million in 3 days during the pandemic.
Wow.
Literally all of our clients called and said, we're canceling our events. We're not going to do anything. And I'm literally laying on the floor in my office with the lights off, staring at the ceiling, probably for about a month. Just, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then it was an elevate moment. I was like, okay, this is where we start from. We're just going to change our warehouse and turn it into a virtual studio. So we did over 200 virtual events in 2020, did a lot in 2021. And the more people I talk to, they realize, man, we need community. I watched your face at CEX when you got to sit there and meet everybody, Joseph, like to watch your joy. It's like, man, that's what people long for. And so that will never change. I think now the event industry, we're learning the value of the hybrid situation. So I had a women's CEO panel for a company in Atlanta this week, 3 incredible female CEOs, and they were awesome. There was about 60 people in the room and about 250 people watching online. And so from an event company, we had to figure out how to make that engaging, interactive in the room, but also connect with people online. And so that's where the business is going, whether we like it or not. I know some people will go all in virtual events only, and some people say, no, we got to go all in person. No, the reality is we are going to be a hybrid experience, metaverse experience for the rest of our lives. And so I'm super excited about the NFT land, about Web3 as it connects further. And so we've actually have done a couple events in the Web3 space where you have gated entry into events. You have the NFT. I love that your speaking engagements are going to be connected to that. I just think we're going to have more exciting moments. And it's funny, Joseph, I was at the event yesterday and and I said, whether we like it or not, cryptocurrency, NFTs, Web3, augmented reality, virtual reality will be what the next decade is marked by, like it or not. And the number of rolled eyes all simultaneously was awesome. I was like,
it was synchronized eye rolling.
And I had them right here. I mean, they were in the palm of my hand. I had them laughing, and I didn't say that at the beginning. I made sure they liked me first, but I had several people come up at the end saying, I don't know what you mean by, I don't even know what NFT is. I don't even know what a cryptocurrency is. And so I introduced the Elevate coin of what we create with this creator coin. And they go, oh, that makes sense. So I think it's going to be the job of the event producer, the content producer, to not go so far into the future that you forget the present. So that's what my heart is. I want to produce things where it's like people that don't quite understand it yet. I don't run further than they're ready to run, And so that's kind of where I think the winners of the next decade in the event industry are not going to push out virtual or in person and say it's the only thing. They're also not going to neglect the fact that we've got to step into Web3. Like it's happening. It's not going to happen. It is happening right now. And I think the forerunners of that is what Elevate's going to be. Like I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped to be at the forefront. We're not the only ones. There's lots of people that are pressing into this space, but we're doing it big time. Like we're taking all of our chips and shoving into Web3 and saying we can still create this harmonious, love fest, excited, emotional, gushy keynote speakers speaking to my heart stuff, like all of that, and the, you know, P&L statements and the business stuff, and then we're going to grow our bottom line, Johnny Walker situations, you know, that's going to happen too.
Keep walking, keep eye rolling.
Yeah, keep eye rolling
for the others. But you know, even early in the process, I was talking early in the process, we're talking like first 3 months in 2020. I was postulating about the concept of the flipped event, like the flipped classroom, and for people who aren't familiar with the flipped classroom, what's happening now is in many respects, the lessons themselves are being watched or viewed at home or online, and the classrooms are being used for discussions and case studies and I still believe that hybrid events are going to exist in that fashion, where the content might be available within 24, 48 hours pre, but then the speaker is engaged in a Q&A or a meet and greet or more experiential stuff, as opposed to just the way that it's always been done, the talking head, and they're ushered off stage by their handler and they're on the next, car service or private jet out of there. I mean, who needs that?
Yeah, I think the era of the sage on the stage is different. I think, the sage on the stage versus the guide on the side. We're looking for more guides in Web3, more guides to take us along. And it's really a lot of why we dedicated our YouTube channel at Elevate. We're thankful. I think we're at like 35,000 subscribers now. It's growing. And what we decided to do was we're going to find a way to break the fourth wall with the audience as fast as possible. Like, how can we shatter the fourth wall? How can we create these engaging icebreaker type games that everybody can do and put them in a way that everybody can understand? So we sell those on our website, but we also give a bunch away for free on our YouTube channel. And I think you're right. I think the content is so important. I think learning is big, but man, it's the reason I love Clubhouse so much. It's why I love being a part of the Gary Club Discord, is there's conversation. I mean, I learned from Manny and then learned from Lubna, and then, obviously learning from Gary, learning from you. And I think there's this beautiful moment for us to have a piece of content. So I think we need to listen to some content, right? But then there's like that discussion around it, which brings that learning to life. So I know you're a teacher and that's your heart, but I think you're right. I think getting the content before and making the actual moment be more about the conversation, not just let me share more stuff with you.
And it is the concept about conversation at the edges. It's around it. It's the stuff that happens in the corridor. It's the stuff that happens at the bar. It's the ability to pick up again the ball and run with it. Fuzzy says music to my ears, and Jason Siv says international companies are now having board meetings with VR goggles.
So listen, my story with VR, the very first time I put it on, I did this underwater experience where I swam with a whale, and I came out, I had all 4 tear ducts were full of tears, like rushing down my face. I took the goggles off and there was like water inside the goggles and it was like pouring down my face. And people that I was with, are you okay? Like, what? And I just said, this will change everything. And I remember seeing it. We bought 4 virtual reality kits. We have sets now. We use them for events. And we've actually created something in VR. Now, COVID slowed things down. I don't want anything near my eyes. Is that thing clean? Like, there's some of those things. But I think everybody having their own Oculus set and going to board meetings has been an absolute game changer as well. So I 100% agree with that. But I still think VR is going to be a very interesting advancement in the next season, because it's visceral. It's experience. That's what it is.
Well, I will tell you that I was actually there at that moment. It was in the room when you had that whale experience. I was actually pouring water on your head with a hose.
That's
so
what
it
it
actually
was.
Wasn't it? And the other thing, going back to Justin Timberlake. So the final surprise for you is he actually is a super fan, has 100 Jaffe coin, and so he's about to come onto the show right now and ask you a question. Okay, maybe not, but we're manifesting. We're manifesting stuff. Now,
So there's very few times. There's very few times when I'm speechless and I was like, hold on. If anybody can do this, Josef can do this. Is this happening?
Yeah, well, it's happening in VR, I suppose. Look, I mean, we like to go from sublime to ridiculous. Gary Henderson says, imagine if I ate a lemon in VR.
So I watched Gary Henderson absolutely dominate a breakout session at this this event called the Summit of Greatness. And just before that, there was this session on stage where there was this lemon, and you had to pretend like you're eating a lemon. And his wife Peyton and I were sort of like joking. I think I took some pictures of him, and like, because Gary was into it. I mean, Gary was all in, and now he keeps bringing it up. So Gary, it was amazing. I don't want you to feel bad about it, but if I ever, see you trying to eat an imaginary lemon, I might throw a lemon at you. So,
funnily enough, I actually had an experience. I think it actually happened in the after show back in 2020. We would do an after show every day on Zoom, and I think it was with David Meerman Scott, and he actually conducted an experiment using, as we are right now, 4 feet apart, with respect to eating a lemon. And it was actually interesting how my face went, like the sourness actually came across my face. I've got to go and find that. I will dig that from the archives, and I would be remiss if I didn't say, and that will be posted to our... I've become a monster. I've become a monster.
The link will be down below.
Yeah, kill me now. Put me out my misery. Tom says, I'd recommend Plato's lemonade stand. No doubt. I want to just spend a few more minutes now. We're going a little bit over, but I only do that with the guests that I care most about. So I was intrigued by this. You notice how, like, in our show notes, and I say, what are 3 things you want to talk about? And then we don't even talk about any of them. But I was intrigued by, you spoke about passionate about the comeback of the healthy entrepreneur. And for me, words matter. And so I wanted to just get your definition as to what is a healthy entrepreneur as opposed to just an entrepreneur. Why the qualifier?
Yeah, the qualifier is important to me, and I don't know if it was important to me in 2019. I know that in 2020 it was a big evaluation for a lot of people, and I mowed grass as a kid, would shovel snow, sell lemonade. I have stacks of baseball cards. I'll show you, like, literally stacks of baseball cards. I love, one of my hobbies is I'll buy a new thing of baseball cards, and I'll actually have them between the seats of my car, and I'll open up a new pack, not as I'm driving, but at like a stoplight, and I'll open up a whole pack of baseball cards. I'll find out how much they are, and then I'll like put them online to sell them. So I don't ever like the term serial entrepreneur. I just think that sounds weird, but I always love the value of creating something people want to buy. And you're like, what does that mean to add so much value that they want to spend full price for it? So I think that is a great trait. I think that is a beautiful thing. I think 2021 and 2022, there's so many folks that have shifted either to it's all money or it's all, I'm going to go work for a nonprofit. It's all like, I'm just going to give it all away. I think there's a way for us to, again, have this healthy idea that we can go make a great profit. Like, I think that the for-profit business, not just in America, but around the world, is one of the most, it is the bedrock of our culture, is a for-profit business that is healthy, that has a great giving plan, that takes care of their team members, that really actually gives a shit about their people, that actually can grow something that matters, that listens to their customers and says, we're going to be good at what we're good at, but where's the puck going? What does that mean? So I think the healthy entrepreneur, and I'm saying that mostly a qualifier for me, is I got so much PTSD about what the market could do now because, PPP, if we didn't have that, we'd be out of business. I went from 21 full-time team members down to 4. I had to look all my team members in the face a couple days after the pandemic was announced and say, hey, I don't want to let anybody go, but you guys should start looking for other work. And these are people that I care about a lot. They were an incredible team. But that took a lot of, gusto for me to say, I need help. And so I don't know if there's many entrepreneurs now that are saying, like you would say, Joseph, at the beginning of this, is I want to be coached. And so I don't know what that means for me. My second book comes out soon. It's actually finished, and the graphic designer has it done. It's called Start from Scratch, the journey of the post-pandemic entrepreneur. And I'm really excited about it because it was basically journaling woe is me stuff. And then, like, how do we change? How do we start back over as an entrepreneur? So I'm excited about it. It's a quick read. It's only like 90 pages, but it really just takes a lot of my journal entries from that. And it's my journey of getting back to what does start from scratch mean? If I could start over again, how would I do this differently? How could I get healthy? So,
and you don't need a pandemic. You don't need a pandemic.
Hopefully you don't need another one. Yes.
Exactly. You know, you are a true giraffe. You have grace, beauty, love, joy, wealth, and gentleness, but also strength and power. Family is vital, and these are really true for you.
Yep.
Family is vital, and friendships are formed for life.
That's why I own over 1,000.
You stand exactly. You're the #1 giraffe holder. You stand tall, which is, if you think about it, what we discussed today about elevation, with balance, feet firmly on the ground, reaching upward and looking forward. And there's the growth idea, forward to the future. Billy Boughey, this was an absolute pleasure and privilege to have you on. But don't leave yet, because I want to make sure people know not just how to find you, but how to find the Elevate coin. So tell people exactly what they need to know about being able to be a part of this economy in this community.
It's so interesting when you ask that question. I go right to what I've been saying on Clubhouse and different places. Just similar to your Joseph Jaffe is not famous. I almost go to the I don't want you to buy coin. Like I have this anti-marketing campaign in my mind. It's so funny how my brain goes there, but I won't go there because that doesn't help anybody.
You will get lambasted tomorrow at 5 a.m. if you do.
Exactly. I think so. You know, I'm just proud that we're building something at the Elevate community, primarily on Discord, that are really going to help people elevate their life and their business. The Elevate coin, the genesis of it is when you hold coin in your wallet, just similar to things you mentioned, you're going to gain things and attain things and be a part of things that are going to help you grow in your business and your life. Our release is coming up this Monday, which I'm really, really excited about. So we're going to be releasing our roadmap, sort of all the things that were going on. But I would recommend people making sure you have 100 Elevate coin in your wallet, because we're going to drop some really great things. And what's been really cool, Joseph, is I'm loving the one-on-one conversations with people. You know, of course, do a big marketing campaign, and here's what we're doing. But I talked to 2 friends yesterday and just had great conversations with them. They said, "Hey, Billy, what are you up to?" I said, "Well, I've started something called the Elevate coin, and a lot of our products and services and things that we do at Elevate, I'm delivering them when people just simply hold the coin and leverage that for what they do. And when they don't want it anymore, they can sell their coin, and, you know, hopefully the coin is gained and they make their money back." I said, "Well, why wouldn't I do that?" I said, "Well, if you believe in me, then you should get 100 coin tomorrow." And I said, "Great, whatever, do it. Let's go." And so that's what's been really fun, is to really grow there. But I'm just like you, want to grow a community. I'm not trying to grow. I'm not trying to grow a huge, massive brand that sucks. Like I don't like doing things that suck. I want to do something that's awesome. So that's where we're at. Our Elevate Discord. I know I didn't send you the link, but maybe we'll put it below in the notes or whatever. But you can find us over on Discord, Elevate Experiences, and we've got the links there to be able to get the coin.
That's awesome. And as I said, Lubna is now calling you the giraffe whale. So there you go. You've what happens when a giraffe and a whale make a baby? The answer is Billy Boughey. Billy, it's been an absolute pleasure. And if you've watched the show, then you will know that Chuck Norris is about to pass his judgment on you. I will be back tomorrow, and of course, I'll include just a snapshot of the expanded show notes that I've been taking while listening to you diligently. Pay attention to tension. It seems like a Chuck Norris line.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
And I will be back tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.